So it's Bayern Munich once again for the third time in the Champions League. It's, of course, once that draw is made, once the name comes out of the hat, instantly memories go back to 2012, the greatest night in the club's history. The return to the ALLIANZ, there's going to be a nice narrative around that. The Frank Lampard captained the side on that special night. I think back to the 2005 game as well. We faced against them in the two-legged. I think it was the quarter-final in 2005 where Frank Lampard scored an amazing goal. So you can already sense what the narrative and what the build-up is going to be like going into Bayern Munich. My feeling about the game is, what's the point in being in the Champions League if you aren't going to face teams like Bayern? I think this is going to be a really good learning experience for not only Frank Lampard as a coach, his staff, but also the young players in the team. I think of the likes of Tammy Abraham coming up against top class defenders. I think of Mason Mount. I think of Reece James, HUDSON-ODOI against the club that chased him really for most of this year, going up against them. I think it's going to be so beneficial for most of our young players, for Chelsea to get to the level we want to be at once again, competing in big European ties. This is the learning experience they need. Whether it goes really well or really badly, I think either way, it's going to teach them a lot. And that's, I think, a good thing for this season. I think I said that in my season predictions in August, that I thought that this would be good for Lampard and his team. So I think that's positive. You can also even look at some of the older players. Look at likes of Jorginho, Kovacic, Kepa, played Europa League football for us last year. So for them, this is going to be big nights for them as well. And some of the older players and more experienced players like Dave, like Willian, who have, played a lot of Champions League football for Chelsea in the past. So all round, I think it's a big test. It's a big challenge. And also, naturally, there's a lot of pessimism at the moment. We're coming off the back of Bournemouth. There's been a bad run of form recently. But there is so much football to be played from now till then when we face them in, late February, I think is the first leg at Stamford Bridge. So there's a lot of things that can happen. Mood within fan bases and football can change within an instant. As we saw, we were so much on a high when we went into the last international break, 6 wins in a row. If Chelsea were to quickly turn their form upwards, we could be heading into that Bayern game feeling really optimistic. So the pessimism I'm feeling right now, and some of us are feeling down about current form, we have to wait and see where we are in February is what I'll say. And we have seen, clubs like, I remember Manchester United last year overturning a PSG in a two-legged game. Crazy things do happen in the Champions League. So, and Chelsea do have a big experience of doing that. Maybe not with this current crop of players, but I think it's going to be a good test. And I also think that the draw as a whole, I think, tells you just how difficult the Champions League is now. Even more difficult than when we used to be in it and used to get to the semi-final regularly. I look at a team like Manchester City who win their group pretty easily, but still have to face Real Madrid. Leipzig, I'm sure, will be underestimated by a lot of people. And probably, I think a lot of Chelsea fans would have wanted Leipzig. But in some ways, that's going to be, I think, a much more trickier game than I think most people expect for Spurs. Liverpool got Atletico. That's going to be such a challenging game. So it's a cliche, but even teams like Valencia, who we may have underestimated at the start of the season, we saw what problems they gave to Chelsea. So this is the elite of European football, pretty simply. And I think all round it's going to be a test, a really big test for Lampard and his team. It could be a really amazing couple of nights if Chelsea were to get a positive result. But all the same, I think it will be beneficial long term for the young team and hopefully for Lampard as well. So those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.